When the NEO-GEO CD gamepad just isn't enough controller for you, you can get one of these. The MAS Multi-Arcade System NEO-GEO controller, which is slightly larger than the NEO-GEO CD gamepad. Just a bit. This doesn't even cover up the buttons. This is a hefty piece of video game equipment from MAS, or MAS, I'm not sure how to pronounce them. They're out of California. This is what they call the Super Pro Stick. You can get this for the PlayStation 1 or 2, Sega Saturn, Sega Dreamcast, and the NeoGeo. This works on the NEO-GEO CD, CDZ, AES, not the NeoGeo Pocket. You may have seen this controller make a guest appearance in the NeoGeo CDZ review. This was loaned to Classic Game Room by Matthew in New Jersey along with the CDZ. Look at the buttons on this thing. Those are real arcade style buttons. And the joystick is no joke either. Look at this. That's a real arcade style joystick. Now this unit clearly has been around for a while. Matthew must have put a couple years of gaming on this thing, but it works perfectly. I've played several games on it, and in fact my Fatal Fury 3 and Samurai Shodown 2 reviews are played using this. There's a Pegasus in the top left. Here's the select and the start button. The standard NEO-GEO controllers have that as well, as you can see, but these are bigger and look cooler. I'm selecting things with a more awesome button. The first thing you probably notice about this is that it looks gigantic, and that's because it is. Let's take a measurement. 16 inches wide. This is a huge video game controller. It feels like you're playing on a real arcade machine. That's the whole point. And if you love 2D fighting games, games like Fatal Fury and Samurai Shodown, you probably have a NEO-GEO, and you want a controller like this, because the NEO-GEO was originally an arcade system. Awesome controller, and you can put rubber feet or sticky things on the bottom of this and adhere it to a table to make it actually feel like an arcade machine. It feels like this was constructed from somebody's kitchen table. It's hefty, it's heavy, it's gigantic. This is a completely different animal than any other arcade stick for video game consoles. And I've reviewed numerous Sega Saturn, Sega Genesis, PlayStation arcade sticks. This is in a completely different league. But this quality comes with a price. The MAS multi-arcade system joysticks are not cheap. But this doesn't feel cheap, this doesn't look cheap. And if you really love arcade games, this is something you should look into. You can look at MAS's website and see what's available. Their website is pretty confusing. They could really use a redesign, but it should at least give you an idea of what they have available. This is not some cheap store-bought, mass-produced piece of junk. This is a serious joystick. Here's a close-up look at the joystick itself. You can hear it clicking. It's an 8-way directional joystick, and here's those buttons. Those are very nice buttons. Slightly concave there. I think that all of their joysticks have multiple options as for joysticks and buttons as well. So again, check their website to see what is actually available. This unit looks like it's seen some action over the years, like the Millennium Falcon. When you're not playing video games with this, it feels like you could just eat dinner off of it. It's like you're buying a piece of furniture. The MAS multi-arcade system joystick, which gives you greater arcade feel than this for fighting games. And I'm terrible at fighting games, but this definitely helps when you're trying to do all those movements like throwing fireballs or, you know, the things that make the shooty things and explodey kicks and stuff. Yeah, you want a joystick for that. Multi-arcade system. The other thing that jumped out at me is the amount of wire they give you with this. You get a huge cord, and it feels like this is some heavy piece of industrial equipment. Look at that. It's basically the exact same kind of plug that's on the standard NEO-GEO CD controller, but it just looks cooler. It's like a piece of garden hose. Like I've said before, you have to respect controllers that are larger than the video game consoles themselves. And the NEO-GEO CD is not even a small game console. Look at this. It's ridiculous. So check it out if you like giant real arcade style joysticks. The MAS multi-arcade system joystick for the NEO-GEO and for numerous other game consoles. Which gives me an idea. Being that this is called the multi-arcade system joystick, and this is the Vectrex arcade system, shouldn't there be an MAS joystick for the Vectrex so that I can play games like Solar Quest using this? I mean, how hard can it be? This has 4 buttons, that has 4 buttons. Get some engineers on that.